Ladies and gentlemen, David Icke.
Thank you. Whoa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey. Thank you very much. Thank you. Whoa. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's like the comedian Peter Kay said, don't peak too early like your dad, said to me. So I've got to follow that for the next 10 hours. Thank you very much. That's great. Well, it's great to be back at Wembley. Isn't it amazing to say back at Wembley when you were a nutter 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago? And there'll be some media people here who'll come with the impression that I still am. But we're going to talk about that which is beyond the norm, which, of course, will challenge much of the mainstream media, if not all of it. And we're going to talk about awakening. And what is awakening? Awakening is realizing that we've been living a fake self-identity and sussing the nature of the true self-identity. And through the day, there's going to be one heck of a lot of challenging information because we need to know what we're faced with before we can do anything about it. But I don't want people to freeze or think, oh, it's hopeless, what can we do? Because in our true state, in our awakened state, we have the power to change anything. We have got into this situation by realizing or not realizing the power we have, by not realizing the true nature of who we are. And we can and we will paint another picture in this generations and generations to come. We will paint another picture. Because that other picture is just a change of perception of self and reality. I am love, you are love, we are infinite consciousness, eternal, all that has been, ever can be. That is as bad as it can get. But from that, I am love. Yeah. You are love. Yeah. We are infinite consciousness. Yeah. The next question comes, what the bloody hell happened? What happened? How did infinite awareness get so confused that it becomes entrapped in this? Quick, honey, he's just said on the news that Osama bin Laden has reincarnated and he's dropping Ebola from a flying saucer. Quick, honey. What will Simon Cowell think? How did we get here? Well, it's a big story and it's a long story, but it's a story that if we know it, we can get out of this nonsense. How do we get into a situation, infinite awareness, all that is, has been, ever can be, where in some supermarkets in America, they put up 3 hands to tell you that's what 15 means at the checkout? How do we get there? And then there's this guy. How do we become ruled by people who say wind is a finite resource and harnessing it would slow down the winds down, which would cause the temperature to go up? Someone voted for him. And then we have a president of the United States for which it would be quite right to say, I would challenge you to a battle of wits, but I see you are unarmed. I mean, I get the feeling in me water that there's something not quite right here, that this can happen. What's gone on? If ignorance is bliss, there must be shitloads of people in paradise. But ignorance is bliss, but only for a while, until they knock on your door and ask for your papers. This is a great line. Mark Twain, never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience. And We've all bloody been there. You have the right to remain stupid. Everything you do not know can and will be used against you, most likely for profit. You can ignore reality, but you can't ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. And that's the whole point of today. A nation of sheep will soon have a government of wolves. And when you look around the world, that is what we have overwhelmingly, virtually everywhere. So how do we go from this to this? Like I say, it's a fantastic story, it's a long story, and an amazing story. And we went there because what we call stupid equals asleep, what we call asleep is hypnotized, and what we call hypnotized is unconscious. We have been systematically put into a state of unconsciousness so that we cannot see what we are part of and what we are experiencing, though that is changing and changing fast. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. All the time, the subconscious, which we're not aware of, is dictating the behavior and responses of the conscious. And if we don't understand the unconscious, then the conscious will just be a pawn in a game. It doesn't understand. Ignorance. The most violent element of society is ignorance. Ignorance is the key to everything because everything comes from ignorance. What we will challenge, what we will accept, what we will respond to, what we will ignore, all comes from ignorance. What we will support and what we won't. And the idea from cradle to grave is to keep us in that state of ignorance. State schooling is stage one. Actually, it's stage two. Parents putting their programming onto their children before school is stage one if their parents are in that state of mind. But this is the first major program. State schooling decoded. It seems so complex, but all it means is that we're here to program your perceptions throughout your formative years so the state controls your mind for the rest of your life. End of story. And we call it education and learning about the world. No, it's learning about the world that in power wishes us to believe in. And here we go from school and we go into this free society. I'm free, I can do what I like. Go to work, get married, have children, act normal, walk on the pavement, watch TV, obey the law, save for your old age, then repeat after me, I am free. And we keep having to say we're free, and in America they keep having to tell the people they're free every 5 minutes because they might otherwise suss that they're not. Slavery was never abolished. It was only extended to include everyone. And yet people go so out of their way to convince themselves they're not in a state of slavery. This is slavery. But this could be an office where you have to be every morning at 9 o'clock. Otherwise you don't earn the money to survive another month. I mean, spot the bloody difference. Apart from the fact the chickens can't go home at night and watch Simon Bloody Cow, I don't see a lot. Slavery, it works better when you don't tell them. Because then you get no response to the fact that they're slaves because they don't think they are. First stage of disconnecting from slavery, realize you're in a state of slavery. Then you know what to disconnect from. This is great, George Carlin. Oh, you hate your job? Why do you say so? There's a support group for that. It's called Everybody, and they meet at the bar. And that's not true of everybody, but the vast majority of people every morning around the world get up out of bed, if they have one, and go to do something they'd really rather not do, but they got to pay the rent, so they got to do it. They're pissing on us, and we say it's raining. No, we're free. We're free. I've got to vote every 4 years. To vote for different masks on the same face. It's ever so free. Oh, Leonardo da Vinci. There are three classes of comedian. Peter Kay said, don't peak too early like your dad, said to me. So I've got to follow that for the next 10 hours. Thank you very much. That's great. Well, it's great to be back at Wembley. Isn't it amazing to say back at Wembley when you were a nutter 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago? And what is awakening? Awakening is realizing that we've been living a fake self-identity and sussing the nature of the true self-identity. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's like the girl, and there'll be some media people here who come with the impression that I still am, but we're going to talk about that which is beyond the norm, which of course will challenge much of the mainstream media, if not all of it. And we're going to talk about awakening.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Icke.
Thank you. Whoa. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hey. Thank you very much. Thank you. Whoa.